We're going! Good morning! Are you ready for flight number 1, Judy? Yes, let's go. Woohoo! Judy, do we sing Welcome to New Jersey now? Let's look at our song. We're gonna start our new trend. 3, 2, 1. We stayed at the Marriott Times Square, which was a great hotel, great for location. My only gripe was there was not the best spots in the room to put on your makeup or do your hair in the morning, but we made do. Other than that, it was great. Are you ready for your first day in New York, Judy? Yes? Yay! We're on our way to catch the subway to go to the 9/11 memorial. Yeah! Start with the sad things to have happy times later. We arrived at the 9/11 National Museum about 15 minutes prior to opening, as we had purchased our tickets online. We selected the earliest time available so that there would be less people inside and we would feel safe with following the recommended COVID precautions. I didn't film anything inside except for one clip so that I could be respectful of the lives lost and fully absorb the importance of this memorial museum. The only clip I filmed inside is what became known as the last column, which became a symbol of hope at Ground Zero. I highly recommend looking up the story behind this artifact. Visiting this memorial was very impactful to me, and I was reminded immediately of where I was 20 years ago when the towers were hit, and realizing the impact of what had happened to the world at such a young age. For lunch, we went to Eataly, which is like a combination of specialty grocery store and Italian restaurant. I highly recommend it. The food is amazing, and it's fun to walk through and look at all the fun treats and special fresh pastas, pizzas, and bread that they have available for you to purchase if you want a snack while you're exploring the city. We ordered the mushroom and sausage pizza, a Caesar salad, and the ragu, and everything was delicious. After lunch, we walked over to Wall Street, which is really close to where George Washington took the first oath of office as the first president of the United States at Federal Hall. Then we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge over into Brooklyn. It was an amazing walk. The scenery was beautiful, although it was really hot that day, high humidity and in the 90s, so it was a bit of a struggle for us to enjoy it as much as I would have liked to, but I would highly recommend visiting when you come to New York. After we made it across the bridge, we walked down into Brooklyn. This is the Manhattan Bridge from Washington Street, one of the most famous social media spots, or you've probably seen it in some movies. It was super pretty and lovely to enjoy. After we made it back into the city, we went to the Milk Bar Flagship store, which was high on my list of places to visit while we were in New York. I really wanted to try things fresh, so I got one of their ice cream parfaits to try. Day 2 with a walk through Central Park. We entered from the 6th or 7th Avenue area of New York and then began walking north through the park. Walked down what is known as the mall, where there are lots of literary icon statues. And then at the end of the mall is Bethesda Terrace. I'm sure you've seen it from lots of movies, TV shows, filmed all over New York. It is stunning in person, and I highly recommend visiting when you come to the city. At the edge of Bethesda Terrace is the lake where the boathouse is. You can rent rowboats and row through if you like, or you can enjoy the lake house, enjoy a walk through. There's lots of things to see on the other side of the lake as well. There's lots of forest paths, so it feels like you're in a forest in the middle of the city. It was really fun. Then we circled back to Bow Bridge. stopped to chat with all of the turtles in the lake because there are so many. Oh my goodness. On our way out of Central Park, we walked back down towards the southeast corner of the park so we could go visit the Central Park Zoo. It's really small, but it's super quaint, and it's a good experience to see some animals up close without a whole lot of people. After a quick pit stop midday back at the hotel, we headed over to our next stop, Rockefeller Center. On day 3, we headed down to the lower Manhattan Soho area for brunch at Balthazar, a restaurant that was highly recommended on social media, so I figured we would give it a try. I ordered a coffee, of course. Then we ordered a basket of mixed pastries to share. And I got some scrambled eggs, potatoes, and toast. After brunch, we headed over to our timed ticket entry to the Empire State Building. Again, we pre-bought our tickets online ahead of time just to make it easier on the day of. We only went to floor 80 and 86. These first scenes are the view from floor 80. If I had to choose between the Empire State Building and the top of the rock, I think I would choose the Empire State Building. You're higher up, so the view is a little bit better. You can see a lot more. So I would recommend this one over that one if you were trying to narrow it down to one stop. However, I will note with the top of the rock, you do get a better view of Central Park. So if that's something you're looking to see higher up, I would recommend choosing that one. After the Empire State Building, we headed over to the West Village for a quick shopping stop. This is not sponsored, but if you haven't tried Rothy's, they are the best shoes to ever exist, so I wanted to pick up the white sneakers for me to wear on the rest of my trip. Then we stopped for a quick snack break at the Magnolia Bakery. I had read great reviews about everything online, so it was high on my list of places to try while in the city. I can confirm that all 3 items we tried totally lived up to the hype of everything I had read online, and I highly recommend stopping at one of their many locations if you come for a visit. After a quick pit stop back at the hotel, we headed over to Chelsea Market for dinner, which I would highly recommend. It was great on a day when you weren't quite sure what you wanted for dinner. You could get a little bit of everything. Anyone had any option they could want. It was amazing. After we finished eating, we went for a short walk up on the High Line, which I would recommend doing this at night over the middle of the day, or you could even go potentially early morning. There was not many people, and it was great to see the changing light, at golden hour, so I would recommend earlier or later in the day rather than midday. Here we are heading out to Ellis Island. I had heard everyone rave about what an amazing place this is to visit if you enjoy history, which I do. So we decided that we would make this kind of a whole day event, and we ended up purchasing the hard hat tour tickets, which is a separate ticketed thing that you have to purchase in advance. But I would highly recommend it. It's not something I put too much footage of on this video because you aren't really allowed to take videos on the tour. You can take pictures. So if you guys want to see pictures from that, or you have questions about the hard hat tour, let me know and I can certainly answer those for you, or do a whole other video with just the pictures and kind of talk about what everything was. To get to Ellis Island, you take the same ferry that you take to go out to the Statue of Liberty. We opted to tour Ellis Island this time rather than visit the Statue of Liberty because due to COVID, you aren't able to go inside at all. So we decided that we would go ahead and enjoy Ellis Island right now with everything going on, and we would circle back to the Statue of Liberty and visit that on our next visit to New York. This is the Great Hall at the main Ellis Island Immigration Building, where they would do all of their medical and legal examinations as you arrived on ships into New York. Getting to see and experience this important part of American history was really impactful, and I would highly recommend coming to visit when you come to New York. It's definitely high on my list, and I want to go back because there were still some things that we missed while we were there, and I want to be able to see everything. Here we are at the start and the end of the Hard Hat Tour. It was an amazing experience. I would highly recommend it. Certainly worth the extra money for the ticket to go see all these other parts of the island. Good morning, Ginny! Good morning! Good morning! On day 5, we walked through Central Park as we walked up to the Natural History Museum. Started the day with a bagel sandwich, which is literally my new favorite thing on the planet, and I want one every day. And here we are at the front of the National History Museum. To be honest, I wanted to visit here because of the Night at the Museum movie, and I was hoping I would get to see a lot more associated with that. I don't know what I was thinking or why I didn't put two and two together beforehand, because this museum was not at all what I was expecting. There's a lot of cool exhibits and things to see, but it's not high on my list of places I would revisit. It seems slightly outdated compared to other museums I've visited in the past, but there are some cool bits and pieces that you can see, like the dinosaur bones. Sorry for all the walking through Central Park. I can confirm that every person who says they love Central Park in the city is correct. It's amazing, and I honestly couldn't get enough of it. That's why we kept walking through it rather than taking the subway. For dinner, we went to a rooftop bar to enjoy some appetizers and some drinks. It was amazing. The view was amazing. The food was amazing. The drinks were amazing. I'll link it down below if any of you visit New York and are looking for a cool rooftop bar to enjoy. I can't rave about it enough. It was phenomenal. We all got a pitcher of sangria to share. And we also shared the pot stickers, the hamburger sliders. My parents got the chicken sliders. And we also got a charcuterie platter. Everything was phenomenal. Again, like I mentioned before, highly recommend. Good morning, Gigi. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, morning. There, we focused finally. Yeah, I know. 2 bagel sandwiches in a row. I have no shame about it. We took the subway north in the city and then walked through Central Park to get to the Met, our next stop on day 6. Here we are at the Met. Honestly, I get the hype for this museum. It was amazing. There were so many stunning artifacts, pieces of art inside. I would highly recommend putting this at the top of your list of places to see if you enjoy history while you're in the city. Just take note, it's a lot to see, so know that it's going to take the majority of the day. For lunch, we went to this vegan sushi restaurant and we got some cauliflower bites. I got a little mint lemonade drink, some mushroom dumplings, some little bao buns with fake chicken, so good, and then some sushi rolls that we shared that were mushroom and mango. The mango was my favorite, so good. After lunch, we walked over to Grand Central Station. I feel like it's one thing you have to do if you're a tourist when you come to the city. It was really cool to see the main terminal. Highly recommend. One stop if you're in the city. After Grand Central, we walked through Washington Square Park. It was super pretty. There's some interesting characters there, but it was fun to see. And then we went to the legendary Cornelia Street. On our last day, we headed over to Brooklyn to enjoy some brunch as our last outing before we headed to the airport to head home. We went to Sunday in Brooklyn, and I highly recommend it. We ordered the pancakes as well as I ordered the steak and eggs for breakfast. Everything we had was amazing. We kind of all shared off of each other's plates. Highly recommend if you're looking for a good brunch spot. was amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to visit again soon.